Hi, family. Thanks for joining us. I think we're all probably just getting home from a work and school day, so I know we've got more people registered. I'm just going to give it a few minutes to allow more folks to join us before we get started. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night to join us for our first coffee talk of the year. We'll get started in just a few minutes. I feel like we need elevator music for while we wait, but all right. I'm sure more families are going to be joining us because I know we've got more folks registered. But thank you again, everyone, for joining us for our first coffee talk of the 2022-2023 school year. We'll get started, and if folks join us, they can always join us along the way. If this is your first time to a coffee talk, this is our opportunity to ask questions of our wonderful Principal Ned Uemae. So this is slated to go until 7 p.m., but it will go as long or as short as we have questions. So if you have any questions at home that you would like asked, please feel free to throw it into that Q&A box or that chat box at the bottom. I will be monitoring it throughout tonight's event, and I'll be sure to get through all of your questions before we end. Thank you again. If you don't know me by now, I'm Moani Wright-Benos, the president for Aikane O Nuuanu, your parent-teacher organization for Nuuanu Elementary School. We're always honored and humbled to have our families join us for these wonderful events. A few housekeeping notes again, if this is your first time joining us tonight, all of our attendees are muted and your videos are turned off in order to allow for the best viewing experience. But again, if you've got questions throughout tonight's event, throw it in that Q&A or chat box at the bottom. I'll be sure to ask it. And if we need to unmute you, we can definitely give you some permission to do so. Couple of updates before we actually get to why you're here and asking our wonderful principal some questions. Just wanted to share some save the date notices of things that are coming up for Aikane O Nuuanu. So if you've got your handy calendar out right now, here's your opportunity to write some things down. If not, we will definitely be sending emails out. So hopefully all the families on tonight are signed up for our Nuuanu newsletters with the school. If you haven't sent your email in, call that office, get your email sent in. That's how you're going to get all the wonderful information that's happening at our school and also with Aikane O Nuuanu. But a couple of events that are coming up for us. October 15th, we are planning a campus beautification event. more details will come as to what we're actually going to do on that day, but it's just a great opportunity to have the families come together. We take care of the school. We do some cleanups around. Oftentimes we'll paint the Rainbow Bridge or other areas that are needed. So it's just a great chance to take care of our school and make sure, we can all get our hands dirty and help everyone out. October 20th is our virtual Aikane O Nuuanu board meeting. Family members are always invited to join. Feel free to listen in, hear what's happening, what we've got planned coming up, how we're spending money. If you've got questions, join us to ask questions there as well. And then on Friday, October 21st, we are, I'm knocking on wood right now, bringing back our beloved and coveted pumpkin carving event. This is one of the most popular behind family fun night events that we hold throughout the year. It's an opportunity for families to come together. Aikane purchases pumpkins, so each family can have a pumpkin. You come, you join us, you get a free pumpkin. A lot of the kids dress up. It's super fun. Carve a pumpkin together as a family. We'll do a little trick-or-treat event around campus as well. So it's just, a family-friendly, wonderful night. We will be sending out details via email in the upcoming weeks. So be on the lookout for that, but just save the date now. I promise you, your kids are going to want to come. We normally have several hundred families, and we do have to limit it to the number of pumpkins we have. So you want to make sure you register for that event as soon as it does come out. And then November 1st to 15th, we are planning our first large fundraiser for the year. We will be selling Regal food items. We haven't decided on which food items yet, but if you're familiar with Regal Foods, they have these huge Portuguese sausage, this cinnamon bread that everybody loves. And so we are planning to do the selling from November 1st to the 15th with pickup in December. So perfect time for the holidays. You're trying to think, what do I buy all my neighbors for gifts this year? This is a great opportunity. You can buy them some gifts from our fundraiser. You're supporting Uanu Elementary at the same time as you're getting this wonderful, yummy, delicious food for the holidays. And of course, you can definitely go and sell to all of your neighbors and your family and friends. The more we sell, the more money we make. This all, again, goes back to support Uanu Elementary School. So we definitely love and welcome your support. And I'm going to do a fast, quick plug for any fifth grade families who might be on. I am the parent of a fifth grade student this year, so this is a personal / Aikane plug, but every year fifth grade class comes together and we normally do a legacy gift. And so tomorrow night is our first fifth grade meeting as well for any fifth grade parents who are interested in learning a little bit more about what legacy is. How do we fundraise for that? Trying to decide what our legacy gift is going to be this year. In the past, they've done Gaga Ball. They did a big mural last year. So it's just a great opportunity. It's a way as the fifth grade graduates out, it's something that they give back to the school. So if you're a fifth grade parent and you haven't heard about this, you can always email me at prez@nuuanuschool.org. I'm happy to provide you some information there as well. Before we kick it over to our principal, I do want to, again, thank all of our families for attending our movie night last week. It was so great to have families back on campus to start the year off together as a community, as an ohana, to be able to celebrate together, have some popcorn, watch a movie, watch our kids go nuts playing inside of the playground or the fields right outside, while we all just enjoyed some time together. So thank you all for supporting and joining us at our movie night. We will definitely be having some more in the future. Okay, I've done a lot of talking and you're definitely not here to listen to me tonight. So I'm going to introduce our principal, Ned Uemae. Thank you for joining me for our first coffee talk of the year. Great. So, let's get started. I see a couple of questions that are popping into that Q&A box. I'm going to start a little, generically. We've been in school now for just over a month or so, getting ready for our first break already. Can you share with families, how has the start of the school year been so far?
I think it's super exciting to have all the kids back in school. Before I start with that, I just want to give a shout out to Aikane, to Moani and the crew. They do a lot of behind the scenes things to make our school fantabulous. Putting on that movie night and so forth, all these events, it's a lot of manpower and a lot of things that, a lot of parents and even, our faculty don't even see that you guys are doing. So I want to, give a shout out to Aikane for all your guys' hard work, and for parents who are on, if there's any way that you can spare an hour a day or whatever it is, just to help the crew out, more hands, make light work, and, more people we have involved, the bigger capacity we can build, and it's more fun for everyone. even for your own children. So if it's possible, if you can only spare a few hours or whatever it is, reach out to Moani, reach out to Aikane, and they're doing some fabulous things, and they could always use, extra support. So, shout out to them. As for the school year, I'm excited when we started having kids, face to face back in school. We got some things going around on our campus that we got kind of repaired, like our gym repainted, new roofs. We got new smart boards in our classrooms. All the classrooms have new smart boards. We're having some glitches on some of them, so we're getting them kind of like repaired. The big thing that it was Aikane was really trying their best to do, and they were slowly doing it building by building. But we were blessed that DOE kind of stepped in and said, hey, we have some extra funding. We got air conditioners for all the classrooms. So every classroom now has AC, and the kids love it. I'm walking outside my office. There's no AC in my office, but that's okay, because when I walk into the classrooms, the kids are happy. They have their jackets on. They're happy. The only unfortunate part was one classroom, the two ACs kind of broke down. So we're trying to go in and try to fix that so that they can get back the ACs again. But other than that, the kids love it. They're telling me it's kind of cold sometimes and this and that. And that's what I want to hear. Rather hear them say that than rather it's, it's really hot and so forth. And the last thing I kind of want to share too is the movie night was really spectacular. Like the gym was, it was standing, like it was just from wall to wall and outside of the gym as well. So the event was really good. Thank you for the popcorn, the bentos and so forth that I kind of put forth. And that, a lot of families, a lot of smiles. The kids had so much fun. I had fun being there too. So thank you for coming out and participating, and hopefully that you'll come out and participate in our campus beautification, Aikane's pumpkin carving night, and even helping with that, the Regal fundraiser. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Uemae. But there's been some really exciting news happening just this week too. Nuuanu Elementary School is one of 3, if I remember correctly, elementary schools awarded a blue ribbon on Oahu. Can you share a little bit more? What does this mean? What does it mean to be a blue ribbon school? It is such a huge honor.
Yeah, how can I forget that, right? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we were recognized as the high performing National Blue Ribbon School last week Friday. And what it entails, our test scores are really high compared to, I guess, across the state. And so we had to apply for, apply for it. I was asked if we wanted to apply for it, and we did apply for it. And they recognized us as one of the top schools in the state. And, for us, we're recognizing the whole state of Hawaii. All our public schools do a fantabulous job in educating students and so forth. But we're just very blessed that they selected us as one of the top 3 schools in the state. And we look forward to, I guess it's a recognition. For me, it's like, I'm humbled about it and I'm proud, because our teachers, they work so hard. And it's sometimes it's really hard to recognize that. But, by outside people coming in and saying, hey, you guys are doing a really good job. And they're actually having us fly up to Washington, D.C. to, receive the, I guess, the accomplishment of the award. So I'm happy with that too. But again, it goes out to our teachers, our staff, parents. You guys do a wonderful job helping us, supporting the school, and even Aikane putting on all these events, all these things that we do collectively. That's what makes Nuuanu so spectacular, and so all of us played a hand, and not just this year's kids too, it's previous year's students. So we got to make sure those who have moved on to Kuanakoa, Stevenson, and all that, those children also played a big part in how we got recognized as a school. So thank you to everyone for all your hard work. And yeah, the blue ribbon is, it's a great recognition. But we cannot stop there, because there's always things that we can always improve on, right? We can always get better every day. So that's what we got to strive for, not to be complacent, but we got to try to get better every single day. But thank you. Yeah, it was a great honor.
So the presentation of the award will actually be in Washington, D.C. Will there be any local presentations that families could attend or show some support for Nuuanu receiving this high honor?
I'm not sure if the DOE puts anything together. It will probably have to be something at the school level, maybe. I'm not sure if the DOE guys put something together, but they told me, like, well, you got to keep it secret for now, because, until it gets fully announced by the secretary, then you can, share with your parents. And so we couldn't really put anything together, because it said you got to keep it, on the down low until it's official. I still didn't get the official letter yet either. They were supposed to send it to me on Friday, then they had glitches in the system, and they would send it to me on Monday, but I still didn't get the official, I guess, letter yet. But it hit the news already, so I guess it is official, right? So
we would hope so.
yeah.
So for families who aren't aware, the Blue Ribbon is an annual honor that you apply for, correct?
Correct. Yeah. But I think you can only get nominated every like 5 years or something like that. So every 5 years you can get nominated again for it. And then you have to apply for it. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. There's all this paperwork and processes and information you got to share with the committee. And from there, they take it up to the next level and they decide on whether or not, whether Nuuanu or the other schools, would be getting the award. So according to what I was reading, top 15% in the state, the country, I guess, all these top 15% schools in the country. So it's really nice to be recognized, across the country as one of the top 15%. So.
Yes, and please pass our congratulations on to all of the teachers and the staff at Nuuanu Elementary. This is not the first time for families who are newer to our school. This is not the first time we've been honored with the Blue Ribbon Award. I think it's still in the cafeteria. It's been a bit since I've looked up, but there's banners hanging in there of all the years that we've received that award. And so kudos to Nuuanu, definitely a lot of Nene pride to be honored with that again this year. So thank you. Okay, well, coming up, we've got a couple of different things I know coming up in the future for Nuuanu. I know parent-teacher conferences are being planned right now, and that has been sent out to families. Start putting that in. Can you share a little bit more about what's happening there?
Sure. Before I get into that, can I go over some dates, kind of like how you did, just so parents are aware before I forget? So Friday, guys, there's no school on Friday. It's a waiver day for our teachers. We're having a meeting and we're going to go over some last items and even PT conference stuff and even some professional development on our smart boards. So Friday, there's no school for students. And then we were trying our best to get the t-shirts out that you guys ordered online. We're trying to get it out this week, but it's a short week and there's a whole bunch of orders. And we want to make sure that we fulfill every order. We don't mess up or anything like that. We have nice volunteers coming in to bag everything, count everything. So it'll be out next week. The shirts will be given to your child next week in school. Also, you also get notifications about the parent-teacher conferences next week as well. Maybe at the end of this week or beginning next week about the date that you selected. We also have a SCC meeting, a school community council meeting on Tuesday, September 27th at 2:40ish. It's where the community, we have parent representation, we have student representation. We have a meeting just to share everybody's ideas and what's going on. And it's a way to have parents communicate, things as well. But this is a great venue to do it as well through our coffee talks. We did send out a link. October is Halloween. And we are looking for some donations if you're able to. There was a link that was sent out maybe yesterday. If you have, you want to donate, just look on that link and then there's a list of items that are there. If you feel you want to donate something, we can always use donations for our October Halloween event. I think October 31st is on a Monday. Yeah. Next week, Friday, we're partnering up with the food bank and another church. We're going to do a food pickup. So on this week, Thursday or Friday, I'll send out some information. All you got to do is sign up. It doesn't require anything else. You just come down to the school next week, Saturday, October 1st. If you need, food for your family and so forth, you can just sign up and swing by the circle. And, from 9 to, I think it was like 10:30ish, you can come and pick up your food. But you have to register online so they know who's coming. And again, I'll send that information out probably on Thursday or Friday of this week. And then we have intercession the following week, October 3rd to the 7th. There's no school for students. And then October 14th is a Friday. We have flu clinic. So if you didn't get your flu shot, you're thinking about getting your kid a flu shot, we're having it at school on October 14th. That's Friday. So that's something that you can also, you can look forward to that. And our parent-teacher conference is actually started on October 24th. And they're going to go for 3 weeks and school is going to end at 1:15 p.m. during those 3 weeks from October 24th to November, I think it's November 4th. November 4th. I'm sorry, November 10th. And, I know some of you, it's kind of long to have those parent-teacher conferences. Well, last year, we sent out a survey and we asked parents, would you rather just do like 2 days of parent-teacher conferences where, kids will not be in school, but we just run the parent-teacher conferences your guys' request, and we're going to have it for the 3 weeks. So I know some people were saying it's kind of long, yeah, but that's what the parents, majority of the parents did request for that. So that's why we have it on that time. So and then Moani went over all the other stuff already. So Regal fundraiser, pumpkin carving, and campus beautification. All right. Okay.
So you talked about Halloween coming up on October 31st for the event. Will students be allowed to wear costumes?
Kids will be allowed to wear costumes. I think we're going to have some requirements, though. It can't be too scary, or it got to be kind of appropriate on that particular day. And our counselor is working on different activities. We had the different stations last time, so kids could walk around our campus. And we did a costume contest, cutest and all that. We still haven't worked out the details for that, but I remember last year we did like the cutest or the most creative, and so forth. So we'll have those, make sure we get that information out to our parents so you guys are aware.
Great. Well, and coming up before that is fall break. That's right around the corner, in less than 2 weeks actually at this point in time. Are there any certain traveling protocols, COVID protocols, anything that families should be aware of for those of us who might be leaving island?
The requirements are always changing every so often. For me, I think if your child or someone in your family is feeling a little ill when you return from a trip, my suggestion is to try to take a COVID test. We've been passing out these COVID tests every couple of weeks whenever we have big events and so forth, but it doesn't hurt to take a COVID test. And if you're unsure, just keep your child home, because as you guys know, masks are not required in school anymore, right? So, it's kind of easier, might be a little bit easier to catch a cold and so forth and pass it on to somebody. So if your child is feeling ill, under the weather, it doesn't hurt to just have them stay home. Or if you bring them to school for whatever reason, you're not sure, make sure they wear a mask just to protect everybody else. I'm not requiring it, but it's just highly encouraged, just to keep our teachers, our staff, everybody, safe, right? Because if you're out for 5 days, and the teacher's out for 5 days, and that means they're not in the classroom teaching your child, right? So let's just find ways to be, mindful of everybody. You go on a trip, just make sure you take your temperature when you come back, check your daily wellness check. Make sure you follow those DOE guidelines.
Thank you. And families, if you're not following Nuuanu Elementary School's website, I know they've been really good about posting updates on top of the website as well. And there's the link to the DOE return to school updates as well. As Mr. Uemae says, things are always constantly changing. So what we may say today may change by next week. And so definitely just be keeping up to date with what's happening on the website, following the DOE's website as well as to things that might be changing.
Okay.
Great. I'm going to go and ask a question that's been asked in our Q&A. It was great to have yesterday's message with school lunch notifying us that school lunch had changed. It was going to be hot dogs today versus pizza. All of us with kids, definitely. If you've got a picky eater, that's very, very interesting. But is the school lunch and breakfast menu available to view online?
Yes, it's actually on our school website. If you scroll down to the bottom of the website, it has it on there. Nuuanu Elementary School, I think, nuuanu.k12.hi.us, I think. You scroll down to the bottom, and it has the menu there. Let me double check. I have it on my phone, so let me just double check. Since I'm on the camera, but I cannot see it. Let me see. Hang on one second. nuuanu.k12.hi.us. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see the cafeteria menu for September breakfast and September lunch. And if we can get notice out, we try to get it out to our parents as soon as possible. But sometimes the deliveries come short. They don't deliver everything. Or sometimes things are back ordered and our cafeteria guy got to kind of scramble in the morning to put something together. They come at like 5 in the morning. It's at 5:30. So, deliveries don't come in time and so forth. Sometimes it's kind of difficult for them as well. But when he lets me know, I try to let the parents know as quick as possible.
Thank you. And families, again, don't forget, if you've got questions during tonight's event, we are kind of winding down on the questions I've received in advance of tonight, so we might end early. But if you've got questions, please throw it into that Q&A or the chat box at the bottom. I'll be sure to make sure we ask those before we end tonight's coffee talk. So much. Okay, coming up, so we've got fall break coming up. We've got our Halloween event coming up. We're pretty much back to in-person for everything. Anything else big coming up that we should all be aware of? I know there was plans to put in a new school playground at some point in the near future, some water stations. Do you know where we're at with some of those installation projects?
Okay, so the water stations, again, we have all the water stations on our stage. It's just a matter of when the DOE has the time to put it in. They put in one already, but we still wanted one for every building. So we have it there. It's on their list to do, but it's not a priority because there are other schools that have, some maintenance issues that they got to take care of. But they have us on their listing, and it's going to take a plumber, it's going to take an electrician, and got to get the welder to come in and do all these things. So there's a whole bunch of people involved in it. So the process is going to take a little bit of time, but we do have the water station. I'm hoping that before I die, the thing will be put in. But it'll be put in. I know it will, hopefully by the end of the school, it'll be put in. As for the playground, I was a little disappointed, but my understanding was the governor was supposed to drop the money sometime in May or June, and he's supposed to sign something and so forth. And then, so I waited until June and July, and then I talked to our DOE people, and they said, oh, and then I don't think he's going to sign it till December. So I said, December, then we got to wait another year for the playground. So we have the design, everything is pretty much ready to go. All we need him is to sign the document to say, hey, release the money to the schools, then we can go ahead and start. But those guys are not going to ship the playground equipment from the mainland until they get their money, right? Because if they ship it over and we don't pay them, they're going to be kind of screwed, right? So until that they receive the money, which the DOE is kind of like sponsoring, it's not the school so much, but Aikane has chipped in a little because we had to pay a little bit from their school side. So Aikane had, dropped some money to help us to pay for the playground. But unfortunately, I was told it's going to be, the money probably will be signed and dropped probably in December. It takes about 3 months for them to ship over the equipment for the playground and all that, which will probably be March or April. Then it takes about 4 weeks for them to build, or whatever timeline they have to build, because they're building playgrounds at other schools too. So they said, hopefully by school year 23-24, the playground will be put in place. So I was so excited that I thought it was going to be put in by January of 2023. But unfortunately, we're just waiting on, I guess, the funding to be released before we can have the item shipped over here. But thank you, Aikane, for chipping in as well. And I forgot to also mention that Aikane has also chipped in so that we can get new furniture for our classrooms. So we did pay for a whole lot of new student desks, student chairs. Aikane has also chipped in a little bit to help fund those items. So according to what I was told, the chairs and desks should be arriving in December. So then your kiddos will have new chairs and new desks in the classroom. For all the classrooms will have new desks and chairs. And we also ordered new cafeteria tables as well. So that should be coming in hopefully by third or fourth quarter as well. So a lot of infrastructure improvements. We're blessed. A lot of support from outside people, from Aikane. DOE office has, gave us some monies to use for upgrading our facilities. So we got to thank a whole bunch of people who contributed to the success of Nuuanu School. So thank you everybody out there, and thank you Aikane for all you guys do to support our school.
Yeah, thank you. There's a lot of exciting infrastructure. A lot of feedback on my side. Okay, is that better? Okay. Speaking of infrastructure projects, at the movie night, we had noticed that the gym water fountain wasn't seeming to be working very well. Are there plans to fix that? Is that on the roadmap?
Well, I didn't know the water fountain wasn't working. I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, and maybe we just drank all the water that was out of there, but for sure by the end of the night, you couldn't refill your water bottle inside of the gym water fountain.
Oh, okay. I'll check with Mr. Ron on that. I was unaware. I know we changed the filter just recently too, so I know it was working, but I'll check with Mr. Ron to see what's going on. Nobody mentioned anything because the kids still go down there and they're still using the water fountain. I'm assuming. I thought they were. So okay, I'll check with Mr. Ron.
Thank you. Maybe we just drank all the water out of there with so many families who were at movie night that night.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm going.
Wait, the bottled water one, right? Not the faucet one, right? The faucet one doesn't work. The one that's on the wall, right? You're talking about with the bottle refill and all that, right? That's the one you're talking about, right?
The parent who asked that question, if I'm clarifying wrong, I'm definitely aware of the bottled water wasn't working on Friday evening. I don't know about the other water.
Okay.
I'm going through questions right now from families in our Q&A box. Again, families, if you've got questions, throw it into that Q&A or the chat box at the bottom. Now that schools are, we're starting to open back up, masks aren't required, we're finally having some events that are happening in person and on campus. Are there any plans for parents to be able to actually drop off and pick up our child at the classroom?
So that was a conversation that we had with our faculty and staff and our teachers. And I don't know if it's a good thing we had COVID or not a good thing, but then when we looked at our procedures again, I guess in previous years prior to COVID, my understanding when I hear feedback from teachers and so forth, what was happening, there was a lot of distractions after school and in the mornings when, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but parents were on campus and they would come and ask teachers questions in the morning. And a lot of the teachers, they wanted to respond and talk with the parent, but they also had to get their class started. And so they didn't want to be rude to the parent when they're coming on campus, so they're talking to the parent and not trying to be rude, but then they would get distracted and not be able to start their class. Or after school, parents would come in and start talking with the teacher when class is still going on and things are going outside. So teachers would think, man, this is kind of a little bit of a distraction, and I don't want to be rude to our parents, but I gotta teach the class and so forth. And so we kind of found it where by not having the kids walking through the field and cars are parked in the back of the gym, like I was asking who was watching all those things when the kids cross the field and parents are parked in the back of the gym. They're like, oh, we just let the kids go, and we don't have staff members who can be all over the campus to watch all these things. And so for me, I thought that was a liability issue as well when parents are parking by the Gaga pit at 12 o'clock or 12:30 and school's not even out, and we don't know who those people are. Are they strangers? And the kids kick the ball, it goes down to the field, and then they got to go through the cars to get the ball. So I'm hearing all this feedback, and so for me, I was looking at the best options for us to keep our kids safe. And another thing that came up, they talked about was when kids would go to the bathroom, sometimes there's adults in there in the past because they'll be waiting on campus for their child outside their classroom, and they got to use the bathroom, so they go into the children's restrooms. And then when our kids are going into the restroom, there's an adult in there, so the kids come out, oh, there's somebody in the restroom. So all these things, it's very hard to police. We don't have security on our campus. I'm pretty much a security. Our custodians are security. So when I hear all these things and I want to keep it safe for your children, it's so much easier when we have people just waiting down by the cafeteria, waiting by the field area, but not on our campus. And it helps us control things. And we have even people playing on our playgrounds and things like that during the school day. And so it was very hard to police all these things. And it's not that I want parents not to come on our campus. It's just, how do I keep it safe for our children? So that's the reason why we're probably going to continue with parents just having to wait by the flagpole or the field area and not on the upper campus. So the teachers will walk the kids down, or the kids will just come down to the circle. Hopefully that made sense.
Yes, it did. Thank you. So for families who maybe are newer to our campus, they've got younger children who maybe haven't been able to really go up and really walk through the campus because they didn't have that experience to be able to really drop their kids off. Are there, I guess, maybe even opportunities for them to be able to have a tour or see the classroom or anything of that nature?
So for me, some of the parents, we have after school programs, and I'm okay. Sometimes the parents want to watch their kid do karate or hip hop or soccer, so if they want to come up to the, just to sit outside to watch their child perform on the field, there's not a problem with that. It's just that during the school day, it's very hard, if parents start coming at 12:30 or 1 o'clock and they start sitting in front of the classroom, then it gets a little bit more challenging. Oh, sorry, you have to wait down there or wait down here. And again, we don't want people going into the restrooms and the kids going there. And then next, oh, there was a man in the restroom when I went home. A kindergarten trying to explain that to their parent. I know that kindergarten parents going to come in, yeah, what is this? That there's people in the, in the restrooms, and, for us to be in every restroom to monitor, it's really difficult, So having just people stay below the flagpole area, it makes it a lot easier and more manageable for our kiddos. So if you do need to come onto our campus, for whatever reason, you want to take a tour or whatever, if you came in maybe after school is all done already, 2:45, we have after school programs going on. We have MOA, karate, basketball, things like that. I don't see a problem with you wanting to watch your child participate in these activities after school.
Thank you. And I was just reminded from some of our wonderful board members listening in tonight too, you have an opportunity too, if you haven't had a chance to really check out campus with campus beautification coming up on October 15th, that is a great opportunity to come on a weekend, help us from 8 to 12 o'clock. Again, that's October 15th, to go around, clean up our campus, definitely get to see all of the beauty. Believe me, if you haven't walked through our campus, we are very fortunate and very lucky to be at Nuuanu Elementary School. And I'm biased, but in my opinion, one of the prettiest elementary school campuses I've ever been on. So it's a great opportunity then. I'm continuing to ask questions that are in our Q&A family. We're coming down towards pretty much the end. So if you got questions, please throw it in there. And I think I can take this one. A question is it too late to place an order for school t-shirts? So at this point, we have closed the t-shirts at the moment, and that's going out. So at this point, it is closed, but we can definitely, I can say we can work with Mr. Uemae, because Aikane does help to put that together. And maybe if next year we need something, we can do another bulk order. What we don't have the opportunity to do is kind of one-off orders as well. And so we'd like to get it in bulk so that we can make sure we're maximizing the printing efforts for this.
Monty, we are opening it up in January again. So those who weren't able to order a shirt this time, we're going to open up in January again for mass order. For those who really need a school shirt or whatever, we do have ones from last year. They're a little bit on their older designs, but we do have those in our office. So you can still purchase those if you want to purchase those as well, or if you need it for an activity or whatever it may be. But if not, if you can hang on till January, we open it again. We're going to work with the company to open it for a few weeks. You can try and order apparel. I think there are jackets, there's sweaters, there's even bags and things, hats and stuff like that you can order as well. So in January, it'll reopen again.
Yes, and thank you for that reminder too, because I know, you know, if you're in a pinch and you've got a field trip coming up, I know we've got a couple of field trips coming up for some levels, and you really need that school shirt. There is the older shirts in the office that you can purchase for now.
But the other thing is, you don't have to buy a shirt. If you have a green shirt, you can always wear a green shirt too. That's fine. If you don't have a shirt, you can always wear a green shirt for the field trips as well.
Well, speaking of field trips, we do have some field trips I know coming up. Fourth grade's got something this week. I know other grade levels have some things coming up. What's the school policy on parent chaperoning off-campus field trips? Yeah,
so a lot of times the teachers will reach out to parents to see if they want to chaperone events. I think second grade is going on something next week, along with there's bike ed going on for fourth grade. That was a big thing to the kids, love that. But yeah, if parents want to volunteer, just check with your homeroom teacher. Ask them, hey, I can volunteer for whatever dates. If you have, I'm available in the month of November on whatever dates. I'll be happy to help out. I know they're probably going to be looking for chaperones for fifth grade Camp Erdman. So if there's any fifth grade parents out there that want to help chaperone, I know the teachers are going to need some support there. You're welcome to do that. Yeah, but reach out to your classroom teacher. I'm sure that they'd be willing to, help, you can help somehow with them.
Great, thank you. And I think that goes for, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Uemae, beyond chaperoning too. I know, many teachers, depending on what grade level you're in, I know kindergarten tends to want some additional parent support for items. So if you've got capacity and you want to support your teacher, definitely, I would say email them. And if they can't use your help, as Mr. Uemae said at the beginning, I want to plug Aikane O Nuuanu, we always need parent volunteers, or family volunteers. Great. And what is the best way for families to reach out to their teacher?
I would say you could email them. That's probably the best way, is through email. You could try to call them, but during the school day, it's very hard for them to respond because they're teaching, the children in the classroom. So shoot them an email, and then I'm sure they'll be able to respond to you. If you don't get a response, then you can call the office, and I'll respond to you if need be. We've been very blessed. We had some people from the community who just retired recently and so forth, and they say, hey, Ned, is there any way we can help? So they're helping like bag or inventory all the school shirts that were ordered. There's boxes of them, and they're inventorying them and packing them right now. So this week they're going to be finishing doing that, and then we'll distribute it out next week to the families. So yeah, we can always use help. And like I said, like Wani said, shoot, if you want to help, I can help out Aikane with all the different activities. It doesn't have to be like months, but if you can put in some time, a couple hours, a couple days, I'm sure they'd definitely use your help. Yeah.
And again, if the parents don't have the email, you can always call the office.
Yeah,
If you don't
right.
have the teachers, the office will definitely provide that to you.
Right.
Wonderful. Families, again, if you've got some questions, I'm going to start wrapping up soon because that was all the questions that were officially asked. But if you've got some questions, please throw it into that Q&A box. We are technically slated to go until 7, or we can end early. Before
Morning.
I kind of start.
I have one thing I forgot to mention. I have one thing to mention. So we send out these school messengers, and that's the way we get information out to you. And so if we don't have if you haven't been getting any updates or anything, that is how Aikane also gets their information out to you as well. So if you have not been receiving these emails, please call the office. You gotta fill out a form to say, hey, this is my new email address, or can you please make sure you add me to the contact list? This is my email address. Then you can start getting the emails, because it is connected to our Infinite Campus that calls home when you're sick and so forth. It's all connected together. And so, if you, like I said, if you have not, or you want someone else to also get that email, then make sure you call the office, fill out the form, and then get that email address on there, okay?
Yes, thank you. Please do that. And again, check out Nuuanu's website, which is that nuuanu.k12.hi.us. Also check out Aikane's website. We are constantly updating that as well. We have a wonderful board member who I see is online tonight, who keeps all of our website information updated and provides all those emails, and we're nuuanuschool.org. So be sure to bookmark those 2 websites. That's how you're going to get your latest information. We also both have Facebook pages. Aikane also has an Instagram page. So if you're a social media savvy type of person and like to be on there, check that out as well. That's how you can get some additional information. I did forget to mention one event that is happening this month for Aikane. If you do shop at Foodland, they do have a Give Aloha program. And so if you donate money up to $250, Foodland will actually match that. So you give $10 and they're going to match out another $10. That is all going to come back to Aikane this month. So if you happen to be there and you're shopping, we would love your support, of course. Again, I'm getting ready to wrap, so we'll just spout out some dates coming up. Again, the big ones, October 15th, Campus Beautification, and then October 21st, Pumpkin Carving Night. Those information on how to sign up for both events will be coming out soon, so please be sure to do that. And mark your calendars for our November Regal Food fundraiser. I don't see any additional questions coming in. So thank you, families, for joining us for our first coffee talk. We are holding these every other month right now virtually. So the next one will be coming up in November. So if you've got any questions, join us again in November. Again, this is your chance to get everything asked that you have. And before I forget too, if you shop on Amazon, if you're a big Amazon shopper like me, be sure to go and earmark in there. Amazon Smile has now also updated their apps. They used to not have it on iPhone, but in their iPhone app, it's now there. On their Android app, it's there. You can designate Aikane O Nuuanu as your nonprofit charity. And so a portion of all of your your Amazon purchases will come to us as well. So it's an easy way where you don't actually have to donate any money. It's just you're shopping naturally, and this money is going to come back to, again, benefit our school. So please be sure to mark that in your Amazon app. Again, everything is going to come back. We work at the school really closely to prioritize what the projects are, what the school needs, such as this, the playgrounds, the furniture. In the past, we've done major technology upgrades. We've supported the library. And so whatever is all of the air conditioning, whatever the priorities of the school, all of your money goes directly back to that. As we are a nonprofit organization, none of that money comes into any of our pockets. It directly impacts our school, your students, and the future generations of Nuuanu Elementary. So thank you all for all of your generous support throughout the years, financially, through your volunteer hours. We are always honored and humbled to serve you, work with you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you at our next in-person event or at our next virtual coffee talk coming up. If you've got any questions, feel free to email me directly at pres@nuuanuschool.org. And of course, check out our websites and our social media. Thank you, Mr. Uemae. It's always an honor and pleasure to have you. Thanks for answering all of our questions.
Sure. Thank you, Moani. Thank you, Aikane, for all you guys' hard work. Appreciate all that you do for our school, for our children, and for all our families. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Families, have a wonderful night with all of your families, cooking dinners, and getting that homework done before tomorrow and everything that you need to do. Thanks for taking time to join us tonight. Have a wonderful night. Mahalo.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.